The price of freedom is death. We are coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I'm your host, Afro Elite. I know the setup is a little different. Let you guys know, currently, right now, live right now, today is November 4th. Right now, I am in Washington, D.C. I am in D.C. getting business handled. So, you know, I'm out of town. This is my hotel. There was a thing about it. This was not the original hotel. They had canceled my hotel. I had last minute had to get another hotel, but you know, I made it happen. I made it work. We're going to be here as I'm going to really try to home in and get to the points because I couldn't miss this opportunity because tomorrow is the election. So I couldn't do it then. You know, and I'm not going to be available then. And I don't want to wait till I get home to discuss this because it might, who knows, by the time I get home, we'll have a new president-elect. Somebody between either Harris or Trump is going to win. So that's why I needed to make sure that we got this done today. The Wi-Fi, let me tell you something. Wi-Fi is something else. I'm using my phone. I'm using the hotspot on my phone in order to get it done. So we're getting this done. We are getting this done. If it's janky, bear with me. Just bear with me, all right? We're family. We're locked in. And as we are locked in, that's why I need you guys to make sure that you guys are hitting that like button. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. And subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Hit the notification bell, all that. Before we get started, I want to let you guys know that my stance on everything is only for the sole purpose of Black empowerment. What is absolutely best for the Black community. That's where my stance is. Some people have been calling me, oh, you're a MAGA, you're this. No. My stance is not pro them or pro them. I'm not pro blue or pro red. I'm not pro Democrat or pro Republican. I don't believe there's a single Black person who should be. Every Black person should be pro Black, not blue or red, Black. That's where I stand. That's where I have always stood. That's where I will always stand. So we have to get this clear. The reason why I've put so much attention on the Democratic Party is because that's where the main damage is done. The main damage is done by the Democratic Party. That's where the main damage is. And unfortunately, that's the party that has most of the community hoodwinked. That's the party that has most of the community tricked and fooled and blinded. So if that's where most of the damage is done, if that's where most of the attention needs to be to repair that damage, then that's where my attention, because this is my duty, my job, that's where my attention is going to be so I can solve that problem. Now, and I do address the people who be all like, well, the Republicans aren't racist, the Republicans are nice, all of them are nice, all of them are great. I do address that, but I logically can tell that it's a smaller percentage of Black people who are hoodwinked by the Republican, and then it's a much larger percentage of Black people who are hoodwinked by the Democrats. So that's why my attention goes there, because I need to be where I need to be. I need to address the problems where it comes up. So that's just going to be my final stance, because this is going to be the last live stream before the election. All right. So let's play the copyright thing. Make sure we protect this channel. Make sure. All right, here we go. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And I know we're starting early too, but you know, I just had to make sure we got this done where we were supposed to. Had to make sure of that. So we're going to start off by saying the reason why, in the title of the video, we're going to address it. The title of the video is that celebrity you can't save. So why celebrities can't save the election. And I've discussed this before. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party are both using celebrity endorsements because they understand celebrities have, to a degree, influence. Now, over the last few years or so, celebrities actually has been just celebrities in general, not anybody in particular, but celebrities in general have been losing their credibility and their influence among people. People are looking at celebrities less as icons and more as entertainers, especially when it comes to politics is concerned. They don't really see like, okay, well, if my view is not politically aligned with Samuel L. Jackson, it doesn't mean that I don't like his movies. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to see another movie or a film or anything he is. If my political views don't line with LeBron James, it doesn't mean I hate basketball or I'm going to stop watching him. That doesn't mean that at all. But I'm not going to say just because I like LeBron or I like the Lakers, I'm going to vote for her because he says so, or just because I like Samuel L. Jackson, I like Nick Fury in Pulp Fiction, doesn't mean I'm going to go where he says to go. You know, a lot of people are thinking that. Now, the reason why they are relying so much on celebrity endorsements is because Kamala, because people get upset when you say her name wrong, she can't really speak that well. She's not quick on her feet. She's not good at answering questions. So she needs something that's going to get the youth. That's a lot of the reason they're trying to get the younger vote. So she's trying to get the younger vote. But another thing is that she understands that, you know, on her feet, answering questions and stuff, she's trying to stay off the camera as long as possible because she fumbles. Look at this. This is one of the reasons why she relies on celebrities, because they don't want people to highlight this.
Thank you.
Now, let me give you some context. She was asked about Gaza. She was asked about Gaza, she said something about getting the hostages out of Gaza, whatever. And then I guess her manager or something had stepped out the room, and it was supposed to be for her to answer this question. When it was up to her to answer this question, she starts looking all around. She don't know what to do. She's lost because she always needs a prompt or a speech or something. And this is why I'm not saying this, because I'm not saying something that I don't know to be true. But this is why a lot of people were saying that people suspect, allegedly, that it could be a possibility that she's wearing an earpiece. This is what other people are saying. I'm not here to spread any conspiracy theories. I do not say I believe it or don't believe it. I'm just, as a journalist, letting you know what other people are saying. Other people, not me, but other people are saying that she keeps her hair in a certain way because her earrings can work as Bluetooth, because they do have the technology to have Bluetooth earpieces where you can wear an earring and you can like listen to conversation and talk and speak and stuff. They do have that technology out now. A lot of people were saying that she was using this during the debate. I am Afro Elite is not making the statement. I don't want anybody to label this a conspiracy theory from me. I'm just letting that be known, because it seems like she's kind of on board. She's kind of quick. She knows how to respond. She knows how to, retort or rebuttal certain talking points. And then other times she's like a fish out of water. Like she's literally looking around, asking for help. Other times she's like asking for help. So this is what a lot of people are saying. Like, yeah, you don't know how to think on your feet. And this is a bad reflection. This is why a lot of her support has actually gone down. She was doing great, allegedly, in the polls when she first ran. Allegedly, she was doing great. And then we saw her support and the enthusiasm for voting for her go down. And I made the statement very clear. It was going to go down right after the DNC. Because after the DNC and everybody's done partying, everybody's done having fun, and everybody's done, doing all that, after the DNC, you're going to have to start talking now. You're going to have to start talking. You're going to have to start answering questions. You're going to have to start actually giving a plan, and then talking about your present or your time in office and what you continue to do. You can't just talk about how your mother you were raised by a single mom in a middle class family. You can't do that. You can't just get away with that anymore. And then the second she starts talking and answering questions, this is how she responds. And she kind of likes to laugh and cackle and joke as a defense mechanism when she doesn't know what to say. And people have been calling that out. So that's why, to offset her terrible performance as a speaker, as an orator, or even answering any questions, you're going to flood the zone with a lot of these celebrities. Let's continue. Look, this is how bad it is. This is really bad. And this is why people are saying, yeah, you might not be that old, especially in comparison to Trump and damn sure Biden, but are you even mentally capable of doing this?
Alex?
Over Jackson.
Thank you. Alex? Alex, too.
I'm Lauren.
Sorry. You have to say the last name of someone else. Oh, keep going.
You know, it is 48 hours out. Everyone's a little tired. Who was with us last night? You're right. Few sleep deprived.
Okay. I'm not unreasonable. Am I unreasonable? I don't think so. I'm not unreasonable. I can get, you running a crazy campaign, you city to city is jet lag. I get that. I can understand that. If you say, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a little tired, man. Honestly, I can understand that. But this is not the first time we've seen this. If this was the first time and you said, hey, I just got back here, I only have 4 hours of sleep in the last couple days, I'm just really tired, my fault. I could low-key be fair enough to give that a pass if I thought that was the reason. But the thing is that we have seen this type of response to last-minute questions too many times for me to just let you slide with this being sleep deprivation. We can't let you slide with this being sleep deprivation. We've seen this is how you respond to questions all the time. Anytime you don't have a rehearsed set of questions, and we've gone through this, you have a rehearsed set of answers, about every single talking point, whether it's immigration, whether it's inflation, whether it's healthcare, whether it's whatever, you have a very rehearsed set of answers, and you regurgitate those answers every time. Anytime somebody asks you a question that really can't fit into the rehearsed answers that you've been programmed to give, you don't know what to say. She is terrible on her feet. All right. So this is why you have to rely on celebrity endorsements. And the celebrity endorsements aren't going to help you. They're not going to help. Because I've made the statement before, we don't live like celebrities. We don't stay in mansions and have millions of dollars in the savings account and then millions of dollars in the checking account. We don't have that. When gas goes up, the average citizen gets affected by that. When food goes up, that's the average citizen who's getting affected by that. When bills, when rent, all that stuff, that's the average citizen that gets affected by that. That's not Cardi. That's not LeBron. That's not Oprah. It doesn't matter to them. It does not matter to them. They will be okay either way. Their children will be okay either way. So that's why it's really not hitting. Another thing is why it's having not only is it not saving. Okay, I appreciate you guys in here. I know we're a little bit early, but if everybody can retweet and hit that thumbs up button and put a thumbs up in the chat room. If you're feeling me tonight, put a thumbs up so we can get this algorithm. We got to get this algorithm popping. All right. The reason why it's having a reverse effect is because it's coming off like you are really relying and depending on celebrities, which to the average person, it's good. It's not like celebrities naturally will hurt. But the thing is that when you have too many celebrities, and it comes off to people like you're trying to compensate for something. It will come off to people like you're using the celebrities to overshadow the fact that you don't really have good policies. It will come off to the average person that the celebrity endorsements, and there can be celebrity endorsements and celebrity speakers, right? There can be that, and that's been done in politics for many years. So it's not like we're holding her to a different standard than we're holding everybody else to. But the reason is that to the average person, that's what it will be perceived as. It will be perceived as that. It comes off like, you're trying to flood, like you're trying to create this thing, because a lot of people allegedly are not showing up at your rallies. So that's why you need celebrities to be there, because a lot of people won't show up at your rallies. That's number one. And then number two, you're letting them speak. They're not really saying anything that profound, to be honest. They don't say anything that profound. All of the celebrities, let's be honest, all of the celebrities that's gotten up and spoken have only spoken about abortion access. Kelly Rowland, Beyonce, Usher, Lizzo, Cardi B. What other celebrity? The celebrities don't even have a variety of things that they can discuss for your behalf. They only have you've only limited them to talk about your stance on abortion access. That's literally all the celebrities have to say. So it's all like, well, if you heard it once, you heard it 1,000 times at this point. Megan Thee Stallion, that's another one. You've heard it 1,000 times at this point. All right, that's a problem. Another thing, when you have certain celebrities, when you have them performing in certain ways, it makes people look back and be like, I'm not really sure. There's a way to appeal to the younger vote, because I get you trying to appeal to the younger vote. You want a lot of young turnout. I understand that. But the thing is that there's a way to appeal the younger vote and then simultaneously not discourage or turn off the older voters. You don't want to come off to the older voters as unprofessional. Okay, as like somebody says tacky. You don't want to come off as tacky, as unprofessional. You don't want to come off as like dirty or not dirty. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to come off that way. Somebody says it is off-putting to a lot of the older crowd. So there's a balance in between it, which is why, like for instance, a lot of people wanted Beyonce to perform. If Beyonce did perform, there are songs that Beyonce could have sung, and then there are songs that Beyonce shouldn't have sung. Now, if Beyonce did perform, hypothetically, and she performed that song Freedom, which is Kamala's rallying music, if she performed that song, that would have been cool. She would have performed it. The older crowd could have got with it. The younger crowd would have got with it. Now, if Beyonce performed Bootylicious, maybe the younger crowd probably could have rocked with that, but the older crowd would have been, the older crowd would have been off-put by that. The older crowd would have been like, I'm not, this is not the time and the place for that. So you have to understand, when it comes to political rallies, there is a time and there is a place for this. So that leads me to this. So they had Glorilla performing. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I just want you to hear what they say, because her music, no diss to her, because this is her art style, this is her music, but her music is not clean enough for a presidential rally, which is why it was kind of weird that they would have her perform anyway. her music is not clean enough for that. So she has to substitute some words, which sometimes is okay. There's a rated R version of music, and then there's a radio version of music, and that's okay. And then there's times where you can't even substitute. That's how you know maybe somebody else should have done it at this point in time, because there's a time and a place. Okay? But at this time and this place, you need something that's universal. Okay? You want unity among all demographics of people. So you don't want to say anything that's going to off-put one demographic. I'm going to be honest. If my grandmother was listening to that, she would have been turned off by it. She would have been off-put by that. She would have disliked that. Okay? She wouldn't be able to get with that. Even like my mother or our mothers and our grandmothers, our grandparents, they wouldn't get with that. They wouldn't rock with that. What that will actually do is that will make people actually start to reconsider their decision. That's actually going to have the reverse effect of what you think it might. It's going to make people reconsider. It's going to make people be like, you know what? I was, but let me rethink about this. That's what it's going to do, because it's going to make it seem like, okay, well, she clearly doesn't know how to handle anything. And it's a reflection of your campaign, which is going to be a reflection of your presidency. And the image you're giving your campaign is that you're allowing all of these, I don't want to say hood rats or whatever the case is, but for a lack of a better term, you're allowing a bunch of street rappers, keeping it like that, not to denigrate, because I'm not trying to attack celebrities, but you're allowing a lot of street rappers to be in places where they're not supposed to be. So it's to a degree, it's gonna look weird. All right. So let's play this. I'm gonna show you this, and I'm going to fast forward it because it gets muted so much where it's like a good few seconds of you not even hearing her saying anything because she can't say those words. Listen.
Got with some biker shorts, I'm showing out mine. I'm feeling good today. I'm outside with y'all. Got a brown skin hitter with. Okay. Let's go. So I damn it red. I keep this fresh. Jesus shirt on. Who wants smoke? Say what? Get it off your chest. Tucked up with my heel. Tucked up with my sister. Tucked up at the pole. Yeah.
Like, you see this, okay? You see this. This is not me. And this happens. I'm trying to be very careful because I understand the whole thing about music and everything. This happens, so you gotta literally mute so often. There's literally times when you can substitute, like the word. When she says hitters, that's really in the word she says in the song niggas. So she substitute that word. She substitute the B word for sisters. But then all the other stuff you can't substitute. So if this is the case, if somebody reviews this, the campaign manager reviews this and says, well, we can substitute a lot, but then there's a lot of gaps where no lyrics can be said at all. Maybe we should either pick a different song, or maybe we should go with a different performer. But if your performance cannot be seen as professional in this political rally, a presidential rally, then that's not something that's good. And another thing, I'm going to be honest, this kind of looks bad for the community, which is why the community made sure to call this out. Because we don't want to be seen like, when our performers as foundational Black Americans get on stage, they're rapping about their body parts and they're rapping about how many people they slept with or whatever the case is. And we don't want, that shouldn't be the image. Okay. That's not how we present ourselves professionally, which is why you saw a lot of people call this out. A lot of people's all like, hey, that was unprofessional. But, and let me tell you something, this is low key a backhanded compliment. Because let me be very honest with you. They wouldn't have Miley Cyrus, follow me, y'all. When Miley Cyrus, remember when she was doing the stripper thing and she was swinging back and forth from the wrecking ball, butt naked and everything like that? They wouldn't have that Miley Cyrus who was rapping about Percocets and all that stuff. They wouldn't have her at a political rally. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't have Machine Gun Kelly or whatever the case rapping about his craziest raps at a political rally. They would, even if they had Eminem, they would make sure he played a song that can be seen as universally acceptable. They wouldn't play his most ratchet song about tying a woman to the bed and burning the house down or sleeping with his mother. They wouldn't have played those songs. See, when they're white, they make sure that they keep their image clean and professional and it's universally acceptable. Now, when it's black, they want it to get real low vibrational, real hood rat-ish. Okay? So when they do, and I'm not saying that they don't, but when they do something that's seen as low vibrational or hood rat-ish, even, let's be honest, Taylor Swift was even, she stepped into the hip hop thing for a little bit. She stepped in that for a little bit. But when when they're doing that, they keep them segregated away from, like, okay, you can do that for a little bit. You can have your little rapper phase or whatever the case is. And then next thing you know, when you come back, we'll put you on stage when you clean it up. See, they only allow clean versions of the white artists to be on stage. Oh, if you're on stage, you got to be clean. You got to have a nice, you got to be articulate and all that stuff. Notice at Kamala's rally, she ain't really had a lot of white celebrities standing out there. She has not, they've endorsed her, but she hasn't had like Leonardo DiCaprio out there for, she really hasn't had that. So we have to understand the racial backhandedness with this. All right. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Eminem's rapped about sleeping with his mother. And I believe he's done. When I say sleeping, I'm trying to not say a certain thing. Not say a certain thing. But I made a post about that saying that the crowd was clearly disappointed. That post went crazy viral. It's got over 6 million views on Twitter. It went pretty big, and Glorilla responded to my tweet. This is what she had to say. Originally, I had said, Glorilla performing at Kamala Harris rally in Milwaukee. She had to mute every other word to make it somewhat appropriate. The crowd was clearly disappointed. She tells me that crowd was lit, you tripping. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm not trying to beat up on Glow. I'm not trying to beat up on her music or her art. I'm not trying to say she can't perform. This isn't, I don't want to divert the attention away from the fact that this is the Democrats and this is about politics. This is not about celebrities. So regardless of what I think about Glow's music or Glow as a person or a performer, this isn't about her. This is about a setting. She could be one of the best performers alive today. But is that the right setting for you to perform right then and there? No, it's not. You know, and that's not on her. She's only 20 years old. That's not on her. That's on the campaign. So yeah, you say the crowd was I'm tripping. I'm going to show you this and I'm going to mute it. I'm going to mute it, and I want you guys to just look at the crowd. Just look at the crowd and tell me if the crowd was lit. I want you to look at it. Tell me if the crowd was lit. I'm going to make it big. Hold on, that's the wrong one. I'm going to make it big.
10,000 fans came to see me.
Now, you guys tell me, do you guys think that the crowd, hold on, that's towards the end. Do you guys think that the crowd was lit? Look at this. I want you to look at some of the facial expressions in the background. Just look at the facial expressions in the background. Yeah, you saw some people bobbing their head, you know, or whatever. Some people got their phones out. But there's a lot of people in the back looking like, what? Even the people trying to bob, they just trying not to look awkward. But you can see, come on. A lot of people looking like, yeah, that's not, you're telling me that this is, and no disrespect, again, no disrespect to her. This ain't a dig at her. If she was at a club or an event or something like that, the crowd, I think, would have been lit. The crowd would have been turned if she was probably anywhere else. But the fact that she's at a presidential rally, you got a whole bunch of people there. You got folks there in the 60s and 70s. You got a whole bunch of white folks there who may know you, who may not know you. But even if they did, they would see it as, what the hell is going on? Just look one last time. Yeah, the crowd don't look lit to me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. The crowd don't look lit. There were some people who were lit. I can give you that. But the crowd is not lit. Okay. All right. That's enough of that. The crowd's not lit. It's not her fault. Again, if she was anywhere else, she probably would have had a very lit crowd. But this is a presidential rally. And people can't even if they're your biggest fans, they can't even really get into the music like that because you got to mute every other word. You got to substitute words and you got to mute people can't rap along because they don't know when you're going to be quiet for a couple seconds. So you can't even really do your best performance like that. People send up there just kind of like that, but other people was standing completely still. Like what? Like people were up standing still. People were standing still. There was a white lady. Yeah, a white lady had her whole ears covered. Her ears were covered. So it's like, I'm telling you, it's not a good look, and it's gonna make people be all like, you know what? Hold on, I don't really know about all this stuff. It will make people have the reverse effect. Okay, it will make people have the reverse effect. Now we got to get to Cardi B. So Cardi B came out. Cardi B came out on stage, and so you know the teleprompter was not working. Cardi B wrote a speech. She wrote it herself. That's what she said she did, and it didn't go well. We got to get into it. Oh, it did not go well.
What's up, Milwaukee?
Now, she will soon point to let the staff know that the teleprompter isn't working. All right. So she does that. She points, she says, "What's up?" And look at how awkward this is.
How you guys doing? I'm nervous. I'm excited. What's up, y'all?
Okay. That's her second time saying "what's up." She asks, "How you doing?" And then she said she's nervous. Okay.
1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay. So I don't take lightly the call. Sorry, guys, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous, guys. I've been waiting for this moment this whole life, my whole life.
Okay. Oh, she don't know what to do. She said she's been waiting for this moment her whole life. A couple months ago, she made a video saying she wasn't going to endorse anybody. She literally made a video saying she was not going to endorse anybody. Now she's saying she's been waiting for this her whole life.
I need patience over here. Patience, where are you, girl? I need patience over here. Hold on. How you guys doing tonight? How you guys doing tonight? Are we ready to make history?
She literally said, "What's up? How y'all doing? What's going on?" Like 5 times. This is very sloppy. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this isn't the teleprompter falling, whatever the case is. That's not on Cardi B, but it's all of this stuff. Your entire campaign is going to be a reflection of your run as president or in office. Representation is very important. Who you co-sign, who you allow on your stage is also very important. To have Cardi, who has a very interesting background as far as her being on camera, confessing to drugging people and robbing them. She's confessed to this, never got charged, no Me Too or nothing, but she's done that. So to have her up there when she says she didn't want to endorse anybody kind of shows to a lot of people that, and WAP and all the other stuff, kind of shows to a lot of people that, maybe they're pulling a lot of celebrities. It's a possibility that they're pulling a lot of celebrities, right? A lot of people are saying that possibly you're threatening celebrities. So she's up there. They made her come up there because she doesn't really have anything good to say. They forced her to come up there. They gave her something. They told her, tell us you read it. You wrote it. Don't tell them it came from us. Make it seem like this is from you. How you know it's not, because if it came from her, if she wrote it, she would be able to say it. She would be able to say it. So she's waiting. She's, what's up? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? And to on a nonpartisan, objective person, this looks like, okay, clearly they campaign staff can't do, because this is not the first time the teleprompter went out. This is an issue. So with y'all, we giving y'all billions of dollars. Their campaign has raised over $1 billion at this point. They had record-breaking donations. So y'all getting all these donations, all these resources. You're in office now, and yet your campaign seems so unprofessional, unprepared, and sloppy. Almost like this is the first time you've ever stepped into politics. And it's going to make people think, like, if you can't handle this, you might not be able to handle a much bigger issue if you are the president. So it will make people, it will have the reverse effect. You being unprepared last minute like this is going to have an effect on people. But let's go. Now, the lady actually does come up and hand her the phone because she can't use the teleprompter. They just couldn't get the teleprompter working, right?
Are we ready to make history? Are we ready to change these 4 years? No. Are we ready to change the next 8 years? Because we're going to make sure we have Kamala Harris in office for 8 years. Thank you. All right. Vice President Kamala Harris, thank you for having me. I do not take lightly the call to show up, the call to speak up, the call to deliver a message that's been on my heart for a hot minute now. Now, I took my time writing this speech, so I'm gonna make sure I deliver it right. Because I got something I've been wanting to say for a long time. I've been saying it on Twitter, on my Instagram, and I'm ready to tell it to you now. Y'all ready to listen? All right, now. All right. Just like Kamala Harris, I too have been the underdog. I've been underestimated. My success belittled and discredited. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Women have to work 10 times harder, perform 10 times better, and still people question us how we got to the top.
Okay. She said woman have to work 10 times harder. Not women, woman with an A, not an E, not women, plural, woman. Women have to work 10 times harder. Let's really chop this up for a second. Okay, before we get into it, let's really chop this up. If you wrote a speech, you're a rapper, you wrote a speech, you got a pen, piece of paper, wrote the speech down, you should know what you think and how you feel about that subject, about that person, or about these issues. So if you wrote a speech down, yeah, a lot of and I've given speeches. I know how it's like, right? Sometimes you might want to keep a note or two just so you can keep track, just so you don't forget to say anything. Like if there's a certain statistic that you might want to give off, you might want to write that down so you don't give the wrong number. Sometimes that happens. But when most people write a speech, they can, briefly kind of look at the paper. And normally it's a paper, because just to have a cell phone, it gives a very unprofessional look. If you have a cell phone in your hand, it kind of comes off as less professional. It would be more professional if it was a stack of papers, right? But yeah, for instance, someone in the chat room, a buzzword or anything like that, just to help you keep your points aligned. That's what you would do. That's why people, when normally they give speeches and stuff, sometimes they don't even use papers. They just have little flashcards just so they can remember a point, or remember to say a point, remember a specific statistic. Normally they don't need to read the whole thing. If I tell you I spent a lot of time working on this speech, and then I'm sitting up there like, Kamala Harris stands up to bullies like me. Yeah. She is a strong woman, and I like that about her. Does that seem like I really wrote that? The way you're going about it, it seems as if not only did you not write it, it seems like you didn't even review it before. It seems like you didn't, because if you wrote it, you would kind of memorize it. You'd be able to be like, okay, well, Kamala didn't, then just go on and on and on, and then maybe look down again and then go on and on and on and on. But normally you would do that if you actually remembered it, even if it was a speech that people told you. But you're sitting up there like, and then Trump said he don't like women at all. That's true, guys. Trump is not a good man ever. He that it looks like, okay, that's, you wrote that. Are you sure you wrote that? When did you write that? Because you're looking too hard to have wrote that to any degree. All right. And then I'm going to take it back, because then she says something that I think was also detrimental.
And I'm ready to tell it to you now. Y'all ready to listen? All right, now. All right. Just like Kamala Harris, I too have been the underdog. I've been underestimated. My success belittled and discredited. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Women have to work 10 times harder, perform 10 times better, and still people question us how we got to the top.
Okay.
Be like, how she got there? Hold on, let me warm up. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody in the chat room is Cardi FBA. Cardi is not FBA. Y'all. And then the whole y'all ready to listen. She's trying to stall so she can read ahead. I know it's the pauses and the stalling so she can kind of read ahead and process it before she goes on, because she doesn't want to sit up there and be all like, and then he said not to. So you're trying to read ahead a little bit before you go. Okay. And you're doing the best you can. You're doing the best you can. But then the whole people question women and our success. Women got to work 10 times harder and do 10 times better, and people still question how we got to the top. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of women maybe agree with that and cheer that on. But for a campaign, which is why it was a bad idea for her to say this, for a campaign that is already, and they've said this for the longest time, already a lot of men don't support her, a campaign that's not doing well with the male demographic. Allegedly, she's doing well among females, but she's not doing well among the males. You want to come out with a speech that's unifying. Your speech has to be about unity. It has to be about togetherness. It has to be about brothers and sisters and stuff. When you come out with this feminist rhetoric about women got to work 10 times harder and people still question how we got to the top, when you rob people to get to the top. You admitted that. She admitted that she robbed people to get to the top. And Kamala slept to get to the top. So let's not actually, when people question how y'all got to the top, there's some legitimacy behind that question. Honestly. Then when it comes to you alienating, what are the especially when you have an older crowd of men, white men, they're not trying to hear this Puerto Rican woman give this feminist talk. She can barely speak English. Her accent is thick. And I'm not saying it's a problem with accents, but they're not trying to hear that. They are not trying to hear somebody who rapped about her WAP talking about how we get to the top and women are always questioned and stuff. They're not trying to do that. Okay. That's very divisive. And your campaign has already admitted that they are suffering from the male vote, not just black men, but men in general. So if you did write this speech, her campaign manager should have reviewed it and said, you can't say that, because that's going to upset the male demographic that we're trying to gain. You can't go ahead and say that. I'm surprised by this time nobody's clipped that up and talked about feminism at this point. So let's continue. I think that was a very sloppy move, whether she wrote it or didn't write it. She's acting like she didn't write that. But if the campaign manager wrote that, I don't know why they would have that in there. But continuing.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I can't stand a bully. But just like Kamala, I always stand up to one. All the time. I'm ready for them. Yeah. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I wasn't going to vote this year. I wasn't. But Kamala Harris joining the race, she changed my mind completely. I did not have faith on any candidates until she joined the race and said the things that I wanted to hear, that I want to see next in this country. All right? I believe in every word that comes out of her mouth. She's passionate. She's compassionate. She shows empathy. And most of all, she is not delusional. Yeah.
I just got to play this. Okay. I just got to play this, okay? Just for context. Just for context.
Thank you. Alex? Alex, too.
I'm Lauren. Sorry. You have
There
to
we
say
go.
the last name of someone else. Oh, keep going.
You know what? It's 48 hours out. Everyone's a little tired. Who was with us last night? You're right. Few sleep deprived.
Okay, well, let's go back to how she's not delusional. Okay.
Yeah. Kamala recognized that this country is at risk, that the economy needs to get stronger, that the cost of food and the cost of living is too high. Damn, it's even high for me.
Is not. She has, her net worth is $80 million. So I don't think the price of eggs is really hurting the bank like that. Okay. Kamala has been on record for years saying that Bidenomics is working. Now you're saying that she's saying that that the economy has a problem. So which one is it? Okay.
I believe her when she says, under her, buying eggs and milk won't break the bank. Because she's going to pass a ban on price gouging on groceries. And she told me that in my face. So she better not lie to me in my face. Yeah. I believe her when she...
No. Price gouging is not the reason why we have inflation. The problem when it comes to the groceries, when it comes to gas, all that stuff, that is caused by inflation. That's not caused by price gouging. That's not the issue. So if you do, which price gouging is a problem, don't get me wrong, it is. And it is something that the president should tackle, because we do have natural disasters and things like that. And you do have people who price gouge. So that does become a problem. All right. We've seen it very recently with the pandemic, how a lot of people were, they were price gouging, what's that thing? Hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer, a bottle before the pandemic was like, what, a couple of dollars. Now the bottle was like $20, so that is a problem. Don't get me wrong. But that's not the reason why eggs are expensive, milk is expensive, bread is expensive. That's not the reason there. Or toilet paper, somebody else. Yeah, so they were price gouging during the pandemic. So it is a problem. Don't get me wrong. It does become something that the president does need to handle, because especially in the South, where you have natural disasters, hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff, you have a lot of price gouging, where now hotels, they used to be $100 a night, now they're $400 a night, because they know people need hotels. So it's a lot of stuff like that goes up, even if they have the room. So that becomes ridiculous, and it is wrong, and it does need to be solved. So she's right as far as that's concerned. However, if we're going to talk about the issue, of inflation, that is not the same. Price gouging and inflation is not the same. And not to get too technical, because we can go all the way back to the history of it. Inflation is something that always occurs. It's been occurring for years and years and years, before I was born, years and years and years. Now, the thing is that it's been occurring since like the beginning of the country, really. The thing is that with inflation, there's also wages, the amount of money people make. So when inflation goes up, then wages go up, and the inflation wage difference makes it comfortable for people to live. It either will make it comfortable for people to live, or it will make it uncomfortable for people to live. When you have wages that are reasonable with the inflation rate, then it will be comfortable for people to live. When you have inflation that's really, really high, and wages that has not increased to meet the rate of inflation. If the inflation is going up by, I'm just giving a number here. If the inflation is going up by 10 points and you raise the wages by 2 points, then there's this big 8-point gap. That is the problem. The problem is inflation, not price gouging, She's not saying anything about inflation. She's talking about corporate greed, when that's not the issue. And the fact that she's saying corporate greed is the problem should reaffirm to everybody she's not going to solve the problem. It should reassure everybody she's not going to solve the problem, because when she was running with Biden, she was saying that there was no problem and that Bidenomics was working. Let me actually find that clip just so we can have a good memory of this. So, the Wi-Fi is a little slow. Okay, look, this was her.
Bidenomics is working. It's a term we're very proud of, I must tell you, because Bidenomics is working. It's working. Bidenomics. Bidenomics. And Bidenomics is working. All of this is part of our blueprint together for what America can be. This is Bidenomics. Bidenomics. That is called Bidenomics, and we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Okay. This is why she's not going to solve that problem, which is why she doesn't like to have back and forth conversations about the economy. Going back to the Cardi B's thing.
Said she will make housing more affordable by providing Americans with $25,000 in down payment assistance. Yeah. Hold on. I got more.
Okay. That's another thing, Lord. Because we got to break this down, Lord. Let's say, first off, the $25,000 for down payment assistance is only for first-time homeowners, which is, it benefits primarily, that policy will be more beneficial for the immigrants coming in. And they were trying to do that in California. Okay, it doesn't specify that that's exclusively for citizens. Plus, why does it have to be first-time homeowners? You know, so it's a lot of things that they're going to filter us out. And let's say it was only for citizens. Let's say it wasn't even a first-time homeowner. Let's say anybody could apply. Even if anybody could apply to it, it would not lower the price of housing. All you would be able to do is you would be able to pay the down payment. It's just the down payment. If they don't do anything with and one of the reasons why all this stuff is crazy high is because of the insurance rates. But we can really get into the economics of why housing is so expensive nowadays. And a lot of the reason is because they allow private corporations, some of the private corporations that still do donate to her campaign, but the private corporations to buy a bunch of single family homes in rural areas. That's why, because they get to make whatever price in whatever mortgage rate and they get to do a whole bunch of stuff they shouldn't be able to do when the private entities, donors, and banks own a bunch of stuff that the citizens don't own. All right, that's number one. And then you also have the insurance rate, the national insurance rate. That's also high too. That's number two. So when you have those things together, let's say best case scenario that you can get the down payment. You save up a little, you apply for the down payment assistance, and you get the house. Now you have to continuously pay the mortgage on this house, or else the house is going to go in foreclosure and you're going to lose the house. So having an easy way to get in the house does not mean you're going to stay in the house, does not mean you can really afford the house. You having a down payment assistance is not going to make the house more affordable. Okay, if somebody says, I can give you a Ferrari, I can give you a Ferrari, and then I will pay the down payment of the Ferrari, and all you have to do is pay the car note. Does that make the Ferrari within your price range? If I said, I'm taking care of all of the down payment, all of the down payment money. I'm taking care of it. All you got to do is pay the car note. And now your car note, oh, well, the car note's $8,000, but you can take care of the car note, but I got the down payment. You paying $8,000. That's a crazy car. And you're paying $8,000. That does not make it more affordable. The same with the housing. I can give you down payment assistance. That's all fine and great. But as far as the mortgage rates, which is what the reason why houses are not affordable, the down payment's one, but the mortgage rate, that's a bigger reason. The mortgage rate, if that doesn't change and that stays the same, what's going to happen is the same thing that happened in 2008 with the financial crash, with the housing crisis. It's the same thing. We really gotta let me get this off screen for a second. What happened was you had a lot of homes. You had people, a lot of them, they were all like, well, what we're going to do is we're going to have people get in to the house. They can't really afford to stay in the house, but that's fine because they're going to pay they're going to pay their mortgage. They're going to try to keep up with their mortgage. They're going to fall behind because they really can't afford this house in the first place. They're going to fall behind. And when they fall behind, we're going to evict them because they can't afford to pay the mortgage anymore, or they're going to give it back to us. And then we're going to do it over again. And that's in a bunch of corporations, banks, insurance agencies. They were making crazy money, insane money with that. They were making wild, insane, crazy money with that. But what happened was that people kept getting homes that they really could not afford. There was what they called predatory lending, which means that, okay, well, we're going to make this deal, but in the fine print of the deal, we know you can't afford it. There's going to be like, okay, well, your down payment, we're going to give you a very, very, very low down payment to attract you in, to pull you in. And then all you have to do is pay this, but the insurance rate is going to be 30% or 40%. But what people are thinking, like, oh my God, the down payment is something I can afford. I can get in this house. People are only thinking about entering in the house. They're not thinking about the long term of staying in the house. So a lot of people were signing on to this stuff thinking that, okay, well, I can finally get a house now. So they were signing on and they were getting in the house. And I'm summarizing this a lot. So they were signing on and they were getting in the house. But the thing is that they don't have the income to stay in the house. They were doing crazy stuff. Like they were doing things like, well, for the first 6 months, your mortgage is this level. And then after 6 months, your mortgage is going to be this. They would put little details and stuff like that in the fine print. So you're able to afford the house for the first 6 months. And then the 7th month, you struggle. In the 8th month, you really struggle. The 9th month, you fall behind. You can't pay. And then, oh, well, you can't pay. You just can't pay. You can't afford it. You got to go. And then they'll predatory lending, have somebody else come in there. Same program, same thing. Oh, you can't pay it. You got to go. And they constantly kept doing it. And they got greedy. They constantly kept doing that. And then at a certain point in time, pretty much everybody was evicted. They overdid that, and then everybody was evicted. Nobody could get the insurance companies, they couldn't afford to give anybody that money back because everybody was trying to get their money out at the same time. So they couldn't give that money back. They just went into bankruptcy. That's why there was a housing crisis. Now, like I said, I'm summarizing this a lot, but ultimately, it was because of predatory lending, okay? And it was because of the fact that people kept going into homes because people were being predatory and they were trying to pull people in and finesse them. People were pulling people into homes that they knew they couldn't. They were doing like no background checks. We don't need no check stubs. And that attracts a lot of poorer people because a lot of poor people know that, hey, my check stubs don't really look that good. So if I show these people my check stubs, they're going to think I can't have this home. So I don't want to show people my check stubs. But they were being like, oh, I don't have to look at your check stubs. I don't got to look at your credit. I don't got to look at your background. So it attracts people in. That's the predatory part. It attracts people in. They're doing this to attract the poor demographic of people, knowing that these people are going to come and then they're going to wind up getting out in the next year or so tops. And then it's just this cycle, and it happens again and again and again and again. And eventually it's a bubble, and it's going to crash. It's going to pop, which is what happened. If what she's talking about doing, as far as putting people into houses, unless what you do is going to lower the price of the houses to make it more affordable, or raise the wages of people so they can actually afford the houses that you're putting them in, those is going to wind up being the repeat of 2008. Is going to be another housing crash. You can't just give people down payment assistance and be like, there you go, you good. Because that doesn't make that more affordable. That means more people are going to leave. That means they already tried to buy a house. That means they won't be able to apply for another down payment assistance. That means unless you do something to help subsidize their income so they can afford the house, which we know as foundational Black Americans, you're not going to do for us, it's going to be another issue. So clearly you don't know how to solve this problem, the housing problem. So let's continue.
Yeah, she's promising a lot. And I believe her when she said she will provide a tax cut to 100 million middle-class Americans. That's a lot of Americans. And that includes $6,000 for parents in the first year of child's life. Y'all remember when they used to do that? Y'all remember when this country used to do that? Yeah. And speaking of healthcare, let's talk about it. Let's talk about healthcare. Did you hear what Donald Trump said the other day? Y'all heard what he said? All right, I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me drink my water. Yeah, stay hydrated. He said he's gonna protect women whether they like it or not. He said he's gonna protect women whether they like it or not. I'm repeating it. Donnie Dunk, please. Protection for women, especially if we're talking about maternal and mental health care, is in telling them what to do with their bodies. It's supporting them and giving them the care they need for what they choose to do with their bodies.
Now, it's an interesting way to spin that. But truth be told, honestly, when he said that, he actually said that he was going to protect women from all of these illegal immigrants coming in. That's actually what he said. So they're trying to take the whole, oh, you're going to protect me whether I like it or not, out of context, because he was not talking about abortion. He was actually talking about illegal immigrants. So let's just put that into context.
I don't play that. People like Donald Trump don't believe women deserve rights. And when those rights are taken away, they are nowhere to be found. When a mother's going through postpartum, he's not there to hold her hand. When a child is in foster care or in a shelter because their mother is not mentally stable or financially stable to take care of them, they're not there. The people outside planning, they're not there.
Now, what's interesting about that part is that I think that was almost really Cardi B. Notice she's not looking at the phone. She's not really looking at the phone like that. When a woman is going through postpartum, they're not there. Like, it's almost like you kind of you talking about yourself.
He's
here?
Not there to hold her hand. When a child is in foster care or in a shelter because their mother is not mentally stable or financially stable to take care of them, they're not there. The people outside planning, they're not there. They're all gone. Those people outside Planned Parenthood screaming at women's faces, they don't be there when women go through stuff. They don't. And everything is possible. Shout out to the single moms out there, but it's hard.
Yeah, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. Because and why this is not a good look, and why this will have the reverse effect, is because first off, to say that nobody's there when a woman is going through a hard time is not true. It's not true. And there's a lot of resources and things like that to help women when they go through hard times. And then, did she have the baby by herself? Is this Jesus? Did she not have a father? Is the father not around in their life at all? If she's going through a mental crisis and can't do anything and the father's just not there, do they not have like child support? Because when you talk about a mother not being financially stable, does the mother have the option or not to put the father on child support and make it an obligation for the father to pay the mother for the child? So that's why it's kind of like if you really missing the mark with that. Okay, you really missing the mark, because a lot of people are gonna analyze that and be like, that's really not true like that. And you're making a kind of bad case for abortion.
Trump says he's going to protect women whether they like it or not. Well, if his definition of protection is not the freedom of choice, if his definition of protection is making sure our daughters have fewer rights than our mothers, then I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. We all knew Trump was a hustler, but hustling women and I'm a hustler too, yeah. But hustling women out of their rights to their body is nasty work. Hustling Americans out of their hard-earned money by selling Trump watches, Trump sneakers, and Trump Bibles. By the way, the watches is $100,000. Yeah. Made in China, another country he discredited.
And that becomes very, listen, when you talk about you a hustler and he's a hustler, and then he's hustling Americans by selling watches and sneakers and Bibles, I didn't buy that. It becomes very difficult to sell somebody being to make somebody be, even if you want to say that that's overpriced, to say you're hustling Americans by selling watches. Are they fake watches? Are they fake shoes? Do they not get the shoes? Do they not get the watches? Like that's you really missing the mark by saying he's hustling people by selling everybody a Bible. I mean, the people who don't want to buy the Bible won't buy the Bible. If they want to buy it, they're going to buy it for that price. It's coming off as he's just being a businessman. That's kind of, yeah.
Nasty too. Let me ask you a question. Wait, is Milwaukee in the building? Is Wisconsin in the building? Yeah. Let me ask you this question. Do we really trust this man with our economy? Our economy! A man who cares only about making himself rich and cutting taxes for his billionaire friends. I don't even get a tax cut.
Look, Cardi, and this is why I don't know whoever wrote this speech. It needs to be fixed. Cardi B is closer to being a billionaire than anybody in the audience. Cardi B is closer to having $1 billion than anybody in that audience. So when you sit up there and talk about, yeah, you want to do that, a tax cut for billionaires, which is really kind of taken out of context, even the tax cut thing, it don't hit the same when you saying that. Just like abortion don't hit the same because you're pregnant, Cardi B. If y'all didn't know, Cardi B is currently pregnant, talking about abortion. It's an awkward look to have someone who's crazy rich talking about tax cuts for middle class and how she doesn't get a benefit from the tax cut, which I don't believe.
Today is your wallet. Tomorrow, he'll be conning you out of your healthcare rights. And that's a fact. I want you to hear that again. Today, he's hustling you with
she didn't abort it if she already had it. She didn't abort that baby.
My sneakers. Tomorrow is going to be your healthcare rights. He's going to take it away from you. He's going to snatch it. Donald Trump talks about how he has a concept of a plan, but America, the only concept of a plan he has is a plan to hustle you. Yeah. Because we know what he's really setting us for. He's selling more than watches and sneakers. He's selling us bigotry, misogyny, division, chaos, and confusion. He wants us to hate each other. And it's going to cost you your money, equal opportunity, affordable health care, and any rights you thought you had for your body. He's going to take it from you. Listen to me. He's going to take it. Thank you. I love you too. I'm not giving Donald Trump a second chance. Nope. I'm not taking any chances with my future, and I'm damn sure and taking no chances with the future of my children. All three of them. All three of them. I'm not giving him the chance. You're not giving him the chance. Yeah. I'm with Kamala.
All right. So, yeah, that was a miss. That was a miss. Bless her heart. I'm not even going to say that was a miss for her. But the whole thing, that was a miss. Was the endorsement not enough? Was the endorsement not enough? You also needed to get out there and speak. You could have endorsed somebody and then not got out there and speak, and then you spoke for this long period of time. She spoke longer than Beyonce. And Beyonce is a way bigger artist, way bigger celebrity with a much larger fan base. And she spoke much longer than Beyonce did. Like literally twice as long as Beyonce did. Because Beyonce didn't even speak for 5 minutes. She was up there for 4 minutes and a little bit. She spoke now you don't know as far as when she got to the speaker from when she ended her thing, that's about 10 minutes. She spoke longer than Beyonce. This was not it. I don't know who's running this campaign. There must be a secret Trump supporter. They must want Trump to win running this campaign like this, because you run this campaign all the way to the ground. It was a really bad look. So much so, people were saying things online about her reading it off her phone, and she made a response to it.
Bro, I worked so hard on my speech. And a lot of y'all talking about like, oh, why are you reading it from a phone? Bitch, I had to write that shit down because I had to make, bitch, I'm 32 years old, bitch. And I have 3 kids. My mind be raising all goddamn day, bitch. Like, it's like sometimes, bitch, I be arguing on my shower, like rehearsing what I'm gonna tell niggas when I see them. And you know what? I forget what I be telling them. I'm like, damn, I was in the shower for 30 minutes. I was gonna say to this, but you know what? Then when I be in face to face, I be forgetting. So, you know, when it comes to this shit right here, I been knew what I've been wanting to say, but I had to make sure I ain't forget. So I wrote that shit the down. Y'all gonna hear what the I had to say. And I'm proud of myself. I worked so hard, bro. I worked so hard on my speech. And a lot of y'all talking about like, oh, why you...
Okay. Y'all. First off, and this is another thing. One of the reasons why I wouldn't have had Cardi on there, of all celebrities, but especially Cardi, because Cardi has a bad tendency of lashing out. Cardi cannot take any type of criticism. She cannot handle any type of trolling. She cannot handle anybody saying anything negative about her, because then she goes on these tirades online, and she is known for doing this. Do you understand how many people hate me? A lot of people. Okay, I get crazy Twitter DMs. Like on Twitter, it's crazy. It's wild on Twitter. Crazy Twitter DMs. I got trolls on YouTube comments, not nearly as much. I got some trolls on Instagram comments. You know, people say things about me. I've seen people make videos about me. Some I've never even addressed these people. I've seen the videos. There's a few of them out there. You guys might have seen it, might not have seen it, because I've never acknowledged it. You know, the couple of times I did is, I think, only twice. And that was really to make a bigger point. You know, it was less even about me, but it was more about my stance for the issue. But you get, when you have and I don't have nearly the fame she does. When you have a level of fame and notoriety, people are going to hate on you. If you cannot accept that, you are not ready for the fame and notoriety. If you cannot accept the fact that if you have some type of fame, notoriety, position, people are going to talk about you. People are going to say they don't like you. People are going to criticize everything you do. People are going to hate on you. People are going to blame you for everything. This is what comes with that. It comes with the territory. So if you can't handle that, then maybe it's not for you to get. Which is why I'm going to be honest. I'll be going through a lot of stuff, a lot of problems. There's a lot of ups and downs and stuff like that. A lot of stuff I got to handle, maneuver, adjust through. You all on YouTube don't know that, because I don't let you know that. No matter what's going on with the day, no matter how bad everything's going, I'm not on Twitter talking about how bad my day was. Y'all wouldn't know if I had the best day of my life or the worst day of my life based off my tweets, based off my Instagram post, based off my community tab on YouTube. You wouldn't know that, because I'm not that type of person. Y'all know me for some years. Y'all know y'all don't know nothing about anything that y'all know is because I want you guys to know, because we're probably doing something with the channel, or there's another event or something like that. That's something. Or maybe I have a thought or opinion on something. That's the only thing that I'll be just telling. I don't be all like this hater. I haven't even done a thing where I just listed all of the haters and then just ran through the haters. Now, I'll point out maybe some responses to a tweet or something, but I don't be like, and then he said this, 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 and then he said, I'm not okay. Because I already knew coming into the game that this was a part of the territory. And I can't respond that way. The fact that she's even making this video shows this is a problem with the way she responds to things. This is when she makes these videos, these are unscripted. She gets very emotional. This is why she confessed when she was making those Instagram videos. This is when she confessed to drugging men and robbing them, because she was going on, I worked so hard, I had to do this, I had to do this, I had to do this, and then she gave off a list of illegal things. So this is why this is difficult, because you shouldn't. This is why she can't handle that. It shows a lack of maturity and emotional instability when you do that. And this is really bad for her campaign, because who you co-sign and who you allow, it'd be one thing if a celebrity endorsed you, but for you to allow a celebrity to speak at your rally, it shows who you also co-sign. Not just as an artist or as an entertainer, but also as someone whose politics or political views should be taken serious. And then when you get up there, when Cardi gets up there and she starts going off like this.
Reading it from my phone. Bitch, I had to write that shit down because I had to make, bitch, I'm 32 years old, bitch. And I have 3 kids. My mind be raising all goddamn day, bitch. Like, it's like sometimes, bitch, I be arguing on my shower, like rehearsing what I'm gonna tell niggas when I see them. And you know what? I forget what I be telling them. I'm like, damn, I was in the shower for 30 minutes. I was gonna say to this motherfucker, but you know what?
Yeah, that's not the person you're gonna want to coach. That's not who you want at your political rally. Somebody should have looked at that and said, no, not her. You need people to be clean. And this is how you know that Kamala is not a foundational Black American. This is how you know she's not a foundational Black American, which is something we've been saying for the longest time. This is a Hindu Indian posing as a foundational Black American. This is an imposter. And she's trying to do this because she thinks that this is what we appreciate and this is what we like. And that's not the truth. That's not the truth. This is not what we like. This is not that. This is a miss, a very bad miss. Because when you have this, you should understand that we got to go through the background and get certain people. There's a certain image that we want to have. You're trying to attract a lot of the young youth, particularly the FBA youth. You're trying to attract them. So you're like, oh, I know they like a lot of rap and ghetto stuff, so I'm going to get them with a bunch of rap and ghetto stuff. Well, yeah, there's a time and a place, but even youthful foundational Black Americans understand that I don't want my rap and my ghetto stuff at my political rally. You know what I'm saying? There's foundational Black Americans who go to the club and they be twerking and all that stuff, and then they go to church the next day. But they will do both, but they don't want to see the pastor drinking and smoking. They don't want to see the choir twerking. There's a time and a place for that. Even the youthful foundational Black Americans understand that. So this shows, and I know this, this shows that you are not a foundational Black American. And you're trying to do something that you think is going to attract us, but you really don't know. You're running this campaign like you're an outsider. It's not logical to have this low vibrational ghetto stuff. These dances that Flo Milli was out there. She can't even rap her songs. Megan Thee Stallion. If you thought that Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage wasn't enough. And this is something that you think, okay, well, last minute, we know FBA is really not on board. Let's try to attract the youth, but you're missing because you don't know who we are. You don't know what we care about, which now I would say we care more about politics and policy and legislation than we've ever have before. You don't know that. She can't speak. She can't speak because she gives the same regurgitated, rehearsed, programmed answers all the time. So she's trying to she's over-relying on these celebrities who really, they can't even say anything great about you. They can't say anything great about you. All of the speeches between Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, LeBron, I don't think LeBron's come out again, Samuel L. Jackson, who else? Lizzo, Usher, Kelly Rowland, Beyonce, and there's more. All y'all got to say is abortion. Tyler Perry. All y'all got to say is abortion. That's all y'all have to say is abortion. That's not going to move the needle. These celebrities are not moving the needle. In fact, they're actually hurting you because it looks like you're relying too much on them. You're relying too much on them. You are having people speak at political rallies that's never spoken at a political rally before. These people are entertainers. They're not known for their politics. They're not known for their political stances. And not only are they not known for having any political stances and really trying to stay away from politics, you're bringing them up on stage at a political rally. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's having a reverse effect. Every time she brings somebody out, every politician she brings out makes her campaign look bad. When she bought Beyonce out, it made her campaign look bad because people left immediately after Beyonce and then started booing her. That was a bad look. How do you fumble the bag with Beyonce? You got Beyonce to come on your stage, and then when she left, 2/3 of the crowd did. That was a bad look. And then they started booing you. The ones that stayed started booing you. That's a bad look. Kelly Rowland out there looking like she's wearing her father's clothes. That's a bad look. Usher, who originally said he didn't really want to make a political stance, y'all dragged him there to make a political stance. And he didn't say anything that profound either. Tyler Perry, I'm gonna be honest. Tyler Perry's credibility with the black community ain't really where y'all think it is. Neither is Oprah. That's why those celebrities aren't helping you. Because Tyler Perry, there's a lot of black folk in the black community now who are looking at Tyler Perry sideways. It's a lot of black people in the black community now that's looking at Oprah sideways. If y'all did this 10 years ago, even 5, if y'all did this 5 years ago, y'all probably would have did better with Oprah and Tyler Perry. But now, Oprah really not doing, she ain't really hitting on nothing now. The last thing anybody remember of Oprah was that Taraji P. Henson was crying that she wasn't getting paid. And then Oprah had that thing with The Rock about forming some relief for Haiti because of that natural disaster that happened that went nowhere. And then people can't stop forgetting about what Oprah did with the Michael Jackson documentary, the Leaving Neverland documentary. So Oprah's credibility is in, people not really rocking with Oprah. So if it was me, this is how you know she don't have no foundational black Americans on the team. Because if it was me, I would be all like, yeah, maybe Oprah can say something good about you, but keep her over there. Because you're inviting her in an element where you're going to have a lot of people who don't like her. Have her be on her TV show and endorse you there. Don't bring her here. Because then the people are going to start talking and they're going to be like, yeah, we don't like Oprah. Tyler Perry's another one. Now because we've delineated, a lot of us are starting to come in tune with our culture in the representation of our culture. So now we're starting to do that. Now we're looking at Tyler Perry's movies. And now we're looking like, you know what? Tyler Perry's movies is really not a good representation of our culture. Tyler Perry's movies is really a bad representation of our culture. And Tyler Perry plays a lot of this gender divide element. He has a lot, he's heavy on the gender divisive element in the culture. So now we're looking like, you know what, I don't know, Tyler, and Tyler's also known for kind of being a gatekeeper. He's also known for kind of boxing people in. He keeps his actors and actresses in this room where there's a glass ceiling and Tyler Perry's standing on it. Tyler Perry's up here and there's a glass ceiling. So more people are starting to call Tyler Perry out. Cat Williams called Tyler Perry out earlier this year. And then after he did that, Monique did that. And Oprah. That's how we listen. Listen. This is how you know they don't got a single foundational black American on the team. Cat Williams pretty much started the year off with one of the biggest interviews in YouTube history. And then right after that, Monique did. And a lot of those, they were talking about a lot of the same people. They would, so if I was looking at that, I'd be all like, you know what? I don't think that we should have those people, because those people already, first off, we've already been looking at them some type of way. And then these people just got called out. So maybe it's not the best timing to really bring them out. Maybe foundational black Americans aren't feeling them because nobody disagreed. There was a lot of different response videos to Cat Williams' interview with Shannon Sharpe, a lot of different response videos to Monique's video with Shannon Sharpe. I didn't see nobody disagreeing except for the people who called them out. But even the people who called them out didn't say they were lying. Ain't none of them say they was lying. Who else did Cat Williams call out? Steve Harvey. D.L. Hughley. Come on, do we got to keep doing this? Who else did Monique call out? The same people that Cat Williams and Monique called out are the same people endorsing her. What does that tell you? It's almost case closed at this point. Case closed at that point. Why would you have these people do that? The same people earlier this year who were being called out said that you can't be trusted. These persons can't be trusted. Steve stole that from Bernie Mac. D.L. Hughley is this, and Tyler Perry is this, and Oprah is this. Y'all gonna have them? Why would you have them? This would be the worst time for you to have them. That man, come on now. That would just see in this. You would know this if you were connected to the community. You would know this if you were a part of the culture. You would know this. You would understand this. But the thing is that you're not. The thing is that you are not. You are not a part of the culture. Not a part of the community. And it'd be one thing if you were just honest about it. If you were just honest. Be honest. Say, yeah, I am a Hindu Indian. That's true. And that, because that is a fact. Just be honest about it. But the thing is that you lying and you sitting up there saying that you're making greens in your bathtub and now everybody came to your house for Christmas and all that stuff. You lying about who your grandma is. You had the whole media scrub the internet and make you black. You're lying. You are a liar. You're deceitful and you're not a good liar at that. You're not even a good liar. You have to have the whole media apparatus completely orchestrate this and clean up your Indian heritage. Because you got to pose as a black woman in order to get some type of votes because you're not getting it being Indian. But if you would have came out, honestly, if she would have came out and said, you know what, I'm a Hindu Indian, I might have a little bit of black percentage in my family, but I'm not a foundational black American, but I do care. I am going to do something. But that's what it is. We could have adjusted through that. But the thing is, you tried to lie your way and you couldn't fool us. You couldn't fool us. This is why you lost the last time. And no matter what, we're going to always, and I can't leave without playing this.
People who are making $100,000 or less as a family, a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. Because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
Wrong. That's why the community could not get with you. Because you never made that right. It would almost, we wouldn't have believed you. But what you should have done is went back and said, I was wrong for that. I was wrong for that stance. I changed my stance. I remember I did a reparations rally during the DNC in Chicago. And I said, she's still in office now. If she really wanted to win, let me tell you, what they could have done is they could have easily been like, you know what? Let's give the foundational black Americans something. Let's give them, We might not be able to give them reparations in the next couple months. Okay, well, we can at least give them this hate crime bill. We can give them the hate crime bill now because that's not going to take that long. Y'all did it for the Asians in record-breaking time. So we can do it for foundational Black Americans. We can make a very specific, powerful, strong hate crime bill. That way, that's a show of good faith to show you that I am going to be looking out for your community in the future. You could have done that, and I'm going to be honest. If she did that, she probably would win by a landslide. If she did that, it wouldn't even be no competition. Right now, a lot of people saying that the polls are really close. Some states might go there. Some states might go there. Then this is because, as in office, you did not do anything. And even when you were running as the vice president, and when you started running and you were on the top of the ticket, you still could have done something. But you didn't. You could have shown some good faith. It would have been taken with a grain of salt because you waited too long. We would have known why. But the thing is that if you did it, it would have shown at least that, okay, you might be on the right track. You might be on the right track. And it would have helped your credibility with the community so well. But you didn't. You didn't. You said, I cook my greens in my bathtub. We said reparations, a hate crime bill, and all you talked about is cooking your greens in your bathtub. Okay, all right then. She's gonna be cooking her greens in her bathtub in California. Since she wants to play it that way. Since she wants to play it that way, that's what she's gonna be doing. Yeah, and you're really not a smart politician either. All this word salad, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. You confused. You get flustered by every question. Anytime somebody double checks, you don't know what to, you don't know nothing. You come off like you're stupid, like a dummy. Yeah, you terrible. And a lot of people think you already were rated the worst VP of all time. And now it looks like you're about to flop. It looks like you're about to flop. I want you guys to comment in the question, who do you guys think will win? Comment in the question. In the comment section, who do you guys think will win? I'm going to put a poll up probably after this and ask you all, who do you all predict winning? As of right now, they say the polls are kind of looking both ways. Swing states kind of going both ways. The percentages is kind of like right there. We don't know. A lot of people in the chat room saying Trump. Somebody says Cornel West. Trump. Hey, I don't know. We're going to see. Trump by a lot. We're going to see. But as we do that, I got to get back to handling my business. Like I said, I'm in D.C. for the people who might not know. I'm in Washington, D.C. right now, handling business, standing on lineage business like I always do. Make sure that you guys follow me on my social media pages. That's Afro Elite on Instagram and then The Afro Elite on Twitter. Also, if you guys are new, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that like. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, thank you all so very much. I appreciate you all. And I want to say be one to everybody. Y'all be safe. I hope that everybody is safe no matter how the election turns out. I hope that nobody gets hurt. I know a lot of people, regardless of what side, feels very passionate about their side. So one person's going to win, one person's going to lose. Regardless of that, I hope everybody stays safe out there. Stay safe, family. Salute you all. Thank you all for watching. Please stay safe.